Hello, and welcome back to the Tushaar Show. This is episode number 22, and this may be a 2 or 3 part series. So, this is with a very close friend of mine. His name is Ryan Esquivel, and this series is going to be recorded with him. He is a US Army veteran and he's been in the Iraq War and in 2003, and he's had some tough life experiences, yet he possesses and he carries forward a very uh, light-hearted and happy spirit. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy this podcast. uh, Otherwise, updates about my life are I've recently been hearing a song of the Beatles called Come Together. It was recorded in 1969 in the Abbey Roads album, and it has really funny lyrics. So I think you should go and check it out. The drum sounds are really nice, and yeah, my mother's birthday was 2 days ago, and we had a small family get together in which my grandmother had come, who visited Egypt and Kenya very recently. She visited Kenya around a month ago and Egypt just a week ago. She got me some notes from Egypt, notes and coins from Egypt, and a note from Kenya, which a 200 shilling Kenyan note, the which shows a rhino on the front side, and I think the president or some political figure, and on the back side it shows the 400-meter sprinters, or I think 800-meter relay team. It's a 800-meter relay team of the Kenyan national team. So that was shown on the backside. And that was a pretty cool purple blue color note. Apart from that, uh, I may need to give you a whole podcast about what I'm what I'm doing right now. But basically, I'm drumming a lot, and drums is going very well. Uh, I have got some good study material for drums, and I'm learning online as well. And maybe in the future, I'll get you to hear some drummers, and we'll talk about a lot of things with drummers. So, this is part one. I hope you enjoy it. And this is the best quality material. This is a quality assurance, a Tushaar quality guarantee. So, you're getting to hear genuine, real, good quality material. Meet you on the other side. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Tushaar Show. I'm your host Tushaar, and today we have one other special guest lined up for you. His name is Ryan M. Esquivel. Have I pronounced that correctly? Esquivel. Okay, Ryan and me were just having a chat about how English is such a funny language and people pronounce such a funny language. I don't care really now. How people pronounce everything so differently. And Ryan has a podcast named The Esquivelio Show. And I would really like you to hear the story behind the name of this show. Ryan.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, just quickly tell our audience the story behind the show's name.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for having me, Tushar.
Yes.
And the backstory was in 2003,
Mm-hmm.
while I was in the military,
Mm-hmm.
the army.
Mm-hmm.
Me and this older lady
Mm-hmm.
went to a department store,
Mm-hmm.
and in this department store, we got lost, very
Okay.
very lost.
Okay.
So she goes up to the announcer,
Uh-huh.
and she comes over to the loudspeaker and says, I'm looking for Esquivelio. I'm looking for Esquivelio. And then right there, I had two choices. I could have been mad, very, very mad that she this person really messed up my name,
Right.
or I could laugh and show an
Right.
ounce of niceness and kindness, more kindness,
Uh-huh.
and just go with it, and
Right.
smile.
Right.
And every time people say Esquivel,
Mm-hmm.
that's what that smile, that
Mm-hmm.
it's a pathway to making everything better in your life.
Right. And it reminds you of how you can always choose the mood you want to be in, or how you can always choose your perspective of life.
Absolutely.
Love it. And this is something that has lasted with you since then. Such a strong memory. 2003.
Yeah, that was way before Facebook, Instagram, and all these other social medias where everybody's just happy. Back
Uh-huh.
then we had to make ourselves happy, and
Right.
everything
Right.
is coming full circle.
Right. Right. So when you were naming your podcast, did you struggle with the name, and did this just spark up, or was this something you carried with yourself all along? And when you first thought of a podcast, you said it's going to be the Esquivelio show.
Well, I really struggled. Um,
Okay.
I wanted to name it the Total Annihilation Show. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
name it the Ryan Show.
Mm-hmm.
There was all kinds of weird, crazy ideas and meanings and feelings,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted people to have that instant connection with a word they normally won't say.
Right.
That you have to learn Escavelio and learn,
Right.
and I take
Right.
that
Right.
and I
It
give.
feels, yeah, yeah. It feels a little slangy. It feels like something you'd like to say, the Esquivelio show. Like that slang comes within it.
Oh, absolutely. And like I was saying, English is such a hard language.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been speaking English my whole life. I was born in the States. But
Right.
we have many ethnics and cultures within the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and words, meanings, and stuff. So learn, it'll be great.
Right. 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 Cool. And the similarity between this show, the Escovelio show, and the Tushar show is they both have the dash show and with a name of ours in
Oh, yeah.
it. It's so great to interview you today. So let me get back to introducing Ryan. He was he was in the army, in the U.S. Army, and he went to Iraq in 2003. In 2003, when the war had just begun, and he's currently a veteran, and he's serving in the Veterans Affairs Department of the United States. So they take care of services such as healthcare, education, death benefits, homelessness, job training, and they restore faith and provide hope to U.S. veterans, U.S. Army veterans. And what else? Uh, yeah, I guess we can formally have you invited onto our show now. Hello there, Ryan. You can say hi to my guests now.
Oh, is it the Tushar Empire, or is it Tushar Nation, or is
You
it
can you
just the
can actually
audience?
say you can say the Tushar Nation, or you can say the Good Vibers, which I like a lot.
Okay, hey, I like good vibers. Okay,
Yes,
because it's sending out those vibes and sending out a message, and
yes,
then
yes.
eventually,
Let's go with Good Vibers. Let's go with
okay,
Good Vibers.
okay. Thank you, good vibers, for welcoming me into the good vibers nation. Thank you.
Yes, into the Tushar show, and I want to talk. Let's start with the best vibe. Tell me about your two children, who I see on your Facebook profile photo.
My family and most families, I'm sure you agree. They're the everything. They're my world. Everything
Right.
I do, I try to set them, a good vibe, a good perspective, a good path in life
Mm-hmm.
of being meaningful and living up to, what their own meaning of life is.
Right.
Because I'm a mentor, you're a mentor. I don't know if you have any children yet.
Of course not.
Okay. You never know. I don't
I'm
know.
19.
I
I'm 19.
I don't want to make a judgment call. You know,
Right,
but
right,
no,
right.
no.
You never know.
If you do, that's fine. My mom
Yep.
was my mom was a parent at 16.
Oh,
So times have changed. I
okay.
hope that's not the norm. But my
Yeah,
my
yeah.
two
India,
children.
India. I guess India is a little culturally. I mean, the culture here, you get married at around 27. I mean, that's how it is going right now. But let's keep that aside.
Okay.
Yep.
So aside,
Carry
I
on.
have two children. My oldest daughter is 11, Emma.
Uh
She's a
huh.
little songbird,
Uh huh. Okay.
and
She's
and my
how old?
son,
She's how old?
11, 11.
She's 11.
Yes, 11. And
Right.
my son Ryan, I
Mm-hmm.
named him, I named him after the greatest American I know, me. So there you go. And
So is he
he
Ryan
is,
Jr.?
yeah, Ryan Jr. He's 8. He's
Okay.
big 8.
Right. Right. He's 8. And what are they doing nowadays?
Oh, school. My
School.
Yeah.
And
Their
do
studies
they
are so important.
right. Right. And do they go for some extracurricular activities, music or sports?
Yeah, my son Ryan, he plays flag football, and my daughter
Okay.
likes to sing, so she does
Mhm.
singing lessons.
Okay. It's very
But
sweet.
yeah,
Oh, flag
very
football.
yeah, flag football. It's a little less contact, and they have these little
Uh-huh.
flags dangling from their waist. So instead of
Okay.
tackling them, they just pull the flag.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So there's no injury in that way.
Right,
Okay.
which is good for me and the medical bills.
Right. Okay. Nice. Nice little word about your children. And tell us a little bit about yourself, your hobbies, and your show.
Well, my hobbies include podcasting, in which
Mm-hmm.
anybody, if you ask anybody, they'll say podcasting is more of a hobby because you don't make any money. And at
Mm.
first, you're right. Total disclosure, I haven't made one one money on the podcast,
Right.
but I
Same,
sell stuff
same.
on the yeah. So yeah, because you
Right, right.
feel you understand where I'm coming from. So
Yes,
a lot of
yes,
people say
totally.
if you're doing something that doesn't make money, it's called a hobby. So yes,
Right.
I understand. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been podcasting since May 1st of this year,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a full-time job. I work for the
Mm-hmm.
government, so that a lot of my time is in the service of others, and in the
Right.
military, and that's what I did too, a service to others. So
Right.
really in the service business, and
Right.
when people are in the service business, there's a natural humbleness of of service, and to
Mm-hmm.
not do that in the podcasting, because for the most part, when I put out content, I'm still servicing other people, but just their
Right.
ears, and then social media. And we talked about that a little bit earlier about the social
Mm-hmm.
media and how it's really disconnecting for me because I have a good life. I don't have a superstar life.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good life, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
most grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I see that people want attention,
Mm.
and
That's true.
from
That's true.
and I want attention, but not for myself. It's more like for the things I can do for other people.
Right. Right.
I I, I
That's the
try to
big
take that,
difference. Right.
right, because I firmly believe in principles like karma and being good people, good vibes, and it's not just for the sake of being good that you
Mm-hmm.
do these things for people. I personally believe that if I send something out in the world, it's going to get to the next person, this person or that person, and you know I just have to create that and send it. And sometimes that's hard because people are so negative sometimes, and that um, it's it's contagious. You're in a
Right.
bad mood. This person's in a bad mood. My country is this, your country is that, my faith, your faith, and it just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
And with me, I I try not to believe that, and I believe that people are inherently good,
Right.
and I take that mindset. And
Right.
if I do something for somebody, I'm gonna do it because, well, yeah, it's the right thing to do, but uh, it's mainly because I can, and those
Right.
choices
Right.
create my next adventure.
Right. So well said. And like you said, finally the choice rests within us.
Yeah, choices, because people think they have no choice, and
Mm-hmm.
some people end their life because they have no choice.
Right.
And I try to believe that we all have a choice, no matter how hard the choice is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's climbing a really huge mountain, and you just
Yes.
gotta take it one rock at a time.
Right. Right. I'm just sending out this message to my audience. Dear
Oh,
audience, you are
absolutely.
you are extremely, extremely, extremely lucky to have Ryan on this podcast today, because I just feel the genuine vibe that's coming out of him. And I really hope that his messages, I mean, whatever he's going to say from now till the end of the podcast, really seeps into you, because he's really coming from a deep sense of service. And I can relate to this because my father is an army doctor. So he's also in a double service kind of core, where first the service for the nation and then service for the patient, where he gets up at 3 a.m. sometimes in the night and he doesn't complain even once. And being from a background of service, I mean, just listening to someone with those experiences can just benefit you a lot. So you should take out appreciation for Ryan and be really grateful for him. And now we get back to the interview. Ryan, where did you
Yes,
first
I'm here.
feel yeah, where did you first feel the sense of being grounded or feeling humble?
It
When
was
did was it from childhood, and did it become stronger when you joined the military? Was it something that they embodied into you or they instilled into you, or were you always like that as a child too?
Oh no, I was very selfish and self-centered growing up, and it
Okay.
wasn't until I went to the Iraq War in 2003,
Mhm.
where I lost my one of my best friends and roommates in
Oh.
combat, and and instantly right there, I you know if anybody listens to my show, I'm a firm believer in God, in be it one God or many gods or something higher, energy
Right.
or cosmos, something not so much as a name of God, but
Mhm.
something bigger and connecting us all. In
Mhm.
that sense, it's not like a personal person, but something more of accountability. And I
Mhm.
said, this let me make it through this war. Let me make it
Mhm.
through this war. I will, start enjoying life and loving life and
Right.
really applying myself to life.
Right.
And then from there, it was a
Mhm.
long struggle of depression,
Mhm.
post traumatic PTSD, traumatic brain
Mhm.
injury,
Mhm.
a lot of medications, and
Mhm.
to the point where not recently, but maybe like 2 years ago,
Mhm.
I was actually suicidal. But
Oh.
I wasn't trying to end my life in that sense. I was
Mhm.
trying to get out of anxiety and panic,
Right.
and it was a really bad vicious cycle.
Right.
And slowly, I understood that the people around me
Mhm.
weren't there because I was this big time war hero,
Mhm.
because I wasn't. I got lucky, and I there was an element of luck. And then
Right.
I slowly saw these people came into my life, lead these life, and I started understanding what that word value. And I started valuing these people in my life,
Uh huh.
and slowly I
Mm-hmm.
understood why we value things. It's not so much this person's in my life, they died, and I'm so sad that they died. These people are in my life to teach me something, to teach me
Right.
how to apply my wisdom, my knowledge in life.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And these people took care of me. And you surround yourself with people who take care of you, and eventually, everything will come full circle, and then you'll get to take care of them because
Right.
that's the natural way of things. You give, and then in turn you give to somebody else, and it goes out and it goes out. And we do things not so much what we want things back. We do
Mm-hmm.
things because we want to create a world that is beautiful and full of value to everybody else.
Right.
Because I'm the master of my own universe.
Right.
The age of Esquivelio is here,
Right.
and I
Right.
have to show. And the only thing I have to do is show up.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Right.
nature, things that the cosmos, energy, whatever it is, will you know will do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I started understanding that my voice, my
Mm-hmm.
wants, my desires, my wishes are just as important as the next person's. So
Right.
if I can't be in the service of others without showing them how to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy life, how to
Mm-hmm.
promote yourself or promote myself in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
and get out of my own way and be a
Mm-hmm.
part of something, and not so much as take over something, but be a part of something bigger than myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have expectations aren't a bad thing because everybody has expectations. You expect your heart to work, you expect your liver to work, you expect your lungs to work. So those are expectations. And then when things don't live up to the expectations, we put ourselves into a place of discomfort, and
Right.
then we change those behaviors to get back to we think to get back to where things used to be,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not so much as the case. We want to get things where things are more optimal and they work more efficiently, because where you were before might not have been the best place, but in your mind you think, okay, I know that was the best place because things felt right, things felt
Mm-hmm.
normal. But then the earth keeps moving, this energy keeps building up and keeps pushing you in a direction, and sometimes you don't know
Mm-hmm.
that direction until, like, now we're sitting here talking about things of service, and it's the direction of growing with people. And then I
Right.
think it's a wonderful journey.
Right. Yes. So that was the first part with some great and deep insights. Uh, the whole series is it's not a easy listen. This is one of those podcasts in which uh, you may tend to tune out or zone out because uh, Ryan is speaking from a very, very experiential and deep level. He's seen things, as you will see in the next podcast. So it becomes difficult for us to relate with him. That is why we tend to tune out of or zone out of the words or what he's speaking, because we are not able to relate to it on a day to day basis on a superficial level. He's seen war, he's seen things, as you will get to know in the next podcast. So, for his podcast, that's why I've firstly divided it into parts. And secondly, when you feel that you are tuning out, either pause and get back to the podcast later, or actually pay attention and try to listen to him. Don't multitask while you're listening to this podcast, and rewind and rehear the podcast. So, hear the podcast, and then if you feel there were certain sections in the podcast that you didn't catch, go back to those sections and rehear the sections and try to take meaning out of his words. whatever little you can get, because you don't get people willing to share such experiences. You don't get such people in this world, and it's a very rare opportunity to have Ryan in the studio, to have Ryan around. So, Ryan, man, thanks a lot. Yep, so this was the outro for today's podcast, and with it is background music of my dad playing the veena. Now, what Ryan and my dad have in common is that they're both army men, and my dad is a keen musician, uh, like me in some way. In the sense, I'm like him in some way. I'm also fascinated about music. I don't know how much of a musician I am. I'm trying to learn as much of music as possible. But what you hear my dad play is the veena. It's a Indian classical instrument. It's traditionally played in the south of India, but my dad is playing Hindustani music on it, and he's playing Rag Shri. He's picked it up from Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, who is a sarod player in India. And sarod is another Indian Hindustani classical instrument, and it's a very beautiful sounding instrument. We have seen Ustad Amjad Ali Khan play live at least twice, and we have seen his son also perform. His sons perform once. That was in Pune, and it's very humbling to see such a great player, and he is a very, very humble person. My father tries to pick up his music through videos on YouTube, and the great thing is that Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, he plays his ragas on the sarod, and my father tries to pick up the same notes on the veena. So he plays the veena, and he calls Ustad Amjad Ali Khan his guru, who plays on the sarod, and it sounds really, really nice, and I'm sure you can agree to that. We'll meet you on the next episode. I hope you enjoyed the Tushaar Show.